Hi, you're listening to the Trinidad Podcast, a podcast for women empowering women. We're your hosts, DJ Crazy,
DJ Sin.
and DJ Tro.
Come and join us as we listen in to the stories of domestic abuse victims and be inspired through their actions, wits, and bravery on how they overcame their situations and healed their scars. See you there. This episode of the Trinidad Podcast may not be suitable for all audiences and may contain potentially harmful and sensitive content. Discretion is advised. Hello there. Welcome to the Trinidad Podcast, a podcast for women empowering women. Our lovely guest for the week will be hidden under the name Sugarplum Fairy. Come and listen as they share their story of success and how they overcame their situation. So, okay. Of course, I won't mention your name. I can't mention your name. Everything here will be kept confidential. So, hello there, everybody. We have a guest today, and first of all, I would like to ask you a few starter questions. Can you give us a little bit of background on your experience with what happened? Since we are going to talk about domestic abuse, could you kindly enlighten us? If that's okay with you, of course. You can always not answer the question if you don't feel comfortable about it. But if it's okay, could you please give us a little bit of background on what was your experience?
Okay, so it happened before graduation ng senior high. So, ayun siya. So, ang nangyari nun was, I was invited to a debut debut party of my friend. But before that, may, yung nag-physical abuse sa akin, got home 1 week before the party, and then nagpaalam na ako about the party. And then, yun nga, dumating yung araw ng party, nagulat ako. Gatong sila when I was at the party. Parang ganon. And then, syempre, di ako naging comfortable doon sa party. So, di ko tinapos yung event. Umuwi na lang din ako to compensate. Parang, like, sige na, uwi na lang ako para matakas na lang, parang ganon. And then, syempre, di ako nakuwi kasi nasa biyahe na ako. So, okay. Kaya tinuloy ko siya. Tapos, pag uwi ko, ayun, it was scary, but at the same time, I believe na naka-stand up ako in a way that I know it was right. Like, while he was hitting me, hindi ako lumaban. Like, okay, go, do it to me. Or like, kasi somehow, nag-hope ako. Nag-hope ko na he will realize at the moment that what he was doing. Parang kasi yung galit niya, parang nabulag siya sa galit niya. So, nag-expect ako na baka magising siya if I don't fight back, ganun. But, puro binabato ako or sinasabunutan ako. Then, sinakaran ako. Tapos tinitwist din yung arms ko. Ganyan.
Even the arms? Damn. Super extreme
both
pala.
Yeah, both arms. Yeah, both arms.
So, you didn't fight back expecting na... Or did you not fight back kasi you expected na they'd parang realize midway? Or did you not fight back because... Okay.
Ayan. I wanted him to realize what he was doing at the moment. Kasi mali naman talaga.
Yeah.
Kahit anong reason. Pero hindi. Kasi sobrang taas ng ego and pride niya at that time. So, ayun na nangyari. Tapos, yung talagang, parang binabato-bato. Ganun yung nangyari. And then, syempre, kung ano yung mga words na masasakit na sinabi. And then,
So, it's not just physical. Talaga.
yeah, verbal abuse din. And then, parang, Nangyari from like 1 AM hanggang 4 AM, gano'n siya.
3
And then
hours?
yeah, ang tagal ng
Damn.
away, oo. Tas ang nangyari nun afterwards, natulog ako, parang nakatulog-tulog din ako sa baba, and then
Mm.
gising ako like 6, and it was a Saturday na yun kasi Friday yung debut, and then yun nga, nagising ako ng Saturday like 6 AM. And then at that time, break na ng senior high yun, eh, parang
Mm.
magka-ano na lang, magpa-practice na lang for
For
graduation.
graduation, okay.
Oo. Tas ang like, my last option was pumunta sa school kasi I felt safe there. Pumunta akong school, and then ano ako nun, nag-contact lens ako nun, and then nag-shades ako kasi magang-maga yung
Mata mo.
mata ko.
Mm.
Oo. And then nung nagbanyo ako, nakita ko I have a lot of bruises on my body. Tas pero sobrang labo pa nung parang very ano pa ako, like hindi pa nagsi-sink in sa'kin 100% yung nangyari. Tas ano nangyari after nun, wala palang tao sa school kasi Saturday and it's a break. At the time walang college students, hindi pa tayo lang nasa school. Tas ayun na nangyari, parang na-realize na din ng guards ng school na, oh, there is something wrong that I really need to talk to somebody. Kasi wala talagang faculty nun and anyone. Sakto, nandun yung COO ng school. And then, they helped us. And then, they tried to, sabi nila, I'm already 18. They can really call the cops for me. Pero sabi ko, hindi. Kasi nga, yun nga, yung nag-abuse sa'kin is the main provider din ng family, di ba? Ang hirap mag-decide at that moment. Tas nung nakita namin yung pumunta bigla yung guidance counselor ng naka-appoint for me. Tas sabi niya, freshen up bago ka umuwi, ihatid nila ako. Tas di ko in-expect, pagtingin ko kasi medyo nahimasmasan na ako. Pagtingin ko sa banyo, sa CR, meron pala akong bruise sa mata. Like, hindi ko alam yun. Like, alam mo yung parang bruise na puro dots lang.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, ganun siya. So, hindi siya parang visible at first, pero when you really look closely, makikita mo talagang meron ako. And like, sad lang kasi luma yung phone ko nun. So like, yung mga ibang bruises ko, hindi visible sa camera. And, ayun. Pero, marami din kasing bruises ang malalaki sa private parts ko. Kasi doon ako natatamaan.
Yun yung parang pinaka-main na...
Oo, so syempre hindi ko rin mapicturean kasi nga,
Kasi
like,
private parts, di ba?
Oo.
Parang medyo
Ang
ano na
hirap.
ang hirap.
Oo. Ang hirap, like, okay, here's the proof. Pero like, hindi ko magawa kasi nga, it's my body then, yun. So, ang hirap talaga when it's like, nasa private parts mo na. So, ayun, that's what happened. Pero before that, nung unang-una yung ginawa niya talaga sa'kin was, minor ako nun. Hindi ko lang na-click
Minor pa.
hindi ko lang na-click yung rice cooker. Di ba
Oh,
kasi hindi siya magluluto?
Mm.
Yeah, di lang siya magluluto. Eh, nagalit siya. So, what he did was, from like downstairs to upstairs, talagang pinalagtad niya ako with my hair.
Really?
Yun.
Dahil lang hindi mo napindot yung rice cooker?
Yun.
Wow.
Ganun.
Yeah, super extreme pala na nangyari. And it's not... Wow, that's a lot of experiences. So how many years did this happen?
I mean, hindi na kami magkasundo ever since nung bata pa kami. Kasi nga, lagi ang init ang ulo niya sa'kin. I don't know why. Basta mainit ulo talaga niya sa'kin. Ganun yung ano niya. Every time na, kunyari, wala siyang work, hindi ko siya kakauhinga ng ganyan. Sa'kin yung init ang ulo niya, napupunta. Yun.
So talagang ikaw yung tagasalo ng parang galit niya, sama ng loob niya.
Oo. Oo, nasa'kin.
Grabe naman. Like super harsh
Kaya
pala.
like, nung college na hindi na ako nakapag-enroll, yung 2 sems yun hindi niya ako in-enroll. Nung utang na lang kami. ng mom ko.
Actually, I
Lalo na sa
remember
teen.
that
Yeah,
because
di ba?
I remember seeing you going in because of course we are your friends. So I remember you papasok ka ng klase and then we'd see you with like huge bruises. Like super laki. Like kami of course we're suspicious. So parang hey, this doesn't look normal. Pero whenever we'd ask you, you'd always say na, disgrasya ka lang sa practice, may nangyari lang, nahulog ka lang sa hagdan, ganyan. Of course, we were suspicious that something was wrong. Pero, we didn't want to push the topic kasi if it is in case that, parang ang hirap naman na sobrang pushy namin. Di ba? Parang,
Oo.
parang, of course, it's still up to you if you want to tell us eh.
Open up. Oo, totoo. Pero, ayun.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi, pero like, when he got back to work, kasi si OFW siya. So, verbally naman niya ako ina-attack. Through my mother. Sinasabi niya like, di ba I don't have any devices for school. Di ba I always go to school to do my work. I go like,
Like you always yeah, I remember that. You'd always go
yeah,
overnight sa school para kasi
makapasa
yeah,
ng
para
place.
makapasa ng plates, yeah.
Eh, for him, like, ang tingin niya was, oh, nagpa-party lang yan, ganyan. Pukpuk yan, kung ano
Wow naman.
pinaggagawa niya,
Wow,
ganyan.
that was extreme.
Yeah, ganun yung like kaya ayaw ko paaralin nun. Sobrang galit niya talaga. But yun nga, the reason why he's so mad, because we believe that he's just mad at himself kasi nga, he cheated on my mother. Yun.
Oh, so may
Yun.
pinanggagalingan, may pinaguhugutan pala.
That is the main reason. Baga, shift niya lang yung blame to me without any reason talaga. So, ayun. That's what happened to me.
Yeah, that was a very extreme reason. So talagang may pinaguhugutan siya and you believe na do you believe na ever since yung experience na yun that they cheated on your mom, na hindi niya matanggap sa sarili niya tapos ikaw yung nagiging way of pag-vent out niya, paglabas niya ng sama ng loob?
Yeah. Sa akin napupunta. And even before he cheated, sa akin niya pa rin napupunta yung galit niya kasi he's a kind of person na who doesn't really express his emotions.
So repressed tapos so he's they're the kind of people na magpipigil tapos biglang later on sasabog na lang bigla.
Yeah. Ganun siya.
Normally nga ba well, hindi naman normally. Parang most of the cases that I've heard of, usually ganyan yung kaso nila.
Like there is something wrong with, yung pride nila and ego. Very egotistical sila.
Yeah, like we actually did an interview with a bunch of people and most of the responses, like I think we did an interview with 5, 7 people. They were all in different batches, all in different calls. And most of the responses would actually be because of pride and ego. Like, hey, this person, the perpetrator would normally have like pride. They don't want to admit na may pagkakamali sila na yung ginawa nila mali na parang ako pwede ko tong gawin kasi ako yung tama, parang ganon. But that's not the case kasi of course, it is abuse nga eh. Parang sobra-sobra na nga siya. And like what they always or like what I have discovered, 'di ba? Parang with education, with discipline comes education and with abuse comes fear. Sometimes kasi ginagawa ng iba na perpetrator to like let's say parent to child na kind of abuse, minsan ginagawa nila 'yon kasi dinidisiplina, yun yung term nila eh. Dinidisiplina nila yung anak nila. Pero sometimes the line blurs eh. Na ako personally parang hindi ko naman masasabi na dinidisiplina mo yung anak mo kung yung anak mo parang halos hindi na makalakad sa sobrang tindi ng gulpe. Parang grabe naman, anong klaseng disiplina ba itinatry mong ituro sa anak mo, ganon. So, with all of that being said, I want to ask you When did you realize na mali na yung ginagawa niya?
Ever since naman I know na mali siya. Like, ever since I know. It's just that na wala naman din akong magagawa. Siguro lang ang ano ko lang nun is like nangarap, like nag-hope ako like he would realize what he did sooner. Pero hindi. I always go back dun sa part na the school already asked me what to do if they're going to call the cops. If meron ng time machine, I would do it na.
You would do it. Is that
Ah,
some sort of regret that you have now?
oh, yeah.
Why naman?
I don't know, pero feeling ko it would be, hindi naman it would be much easier. Hindi naman sa ganun. Like, I know it would be harder. Once it's out, it's out. Like, there's no going back na talaga. Like, kasi, mas nahirapan lang yung situation kasi yung family side niya, kinonsente yung ginawa niya. Pinagtakpan, ganun. Like, yung tita niya, literally told me na, that's not physical abuse.
Yo!
Yung sabi niya sa akin, that's not physical abuse. You don't get to call that physical abuse. You need to be black and blue before you call it physical abuse.
Yo, no. Oh my
Ah,
god.
like,
Oh, yeah,
like,
that's...
grabe. Like, grabe yung logic nila. Like, grabe yung pananaw nila with what happened. Sabi ko, with all respect po, tita, I don't need to be black and blue. Sapat na po yun, meron akong bruises. Sapat na po na sinaktan ako. It is still physical abuse.
Yeah, I think another thing that came from the interviews that we had of people is that there's a parang lack of education dito sa Pilipinas of what is actually considered domestic abuse. So it's like may thin line, there's like a blurred line. Kasi for us it's meron tayong parang resiliency, if that's the proper term, na tinitiis-tiis na lang natin. Na hindi, okay pa yan. Hindi, okay lang yan. To the point na minsan sumosobra na, pero dahil ang turo sa atin, magtiis, hinahayaan lang natin na baka naman hindi pa talaga ganon. But of course, sabi nga nila, abuse, especially physical abuse, it doesn't... I love you how you responded that. Tapos may ano pa, may respect pa, di ba? Parang with all due respect, you don't have to be black and blue. And I love that. No? You don't have to be black and blue talaga naman. Just to say na, ano na you're already being physically abused because, or like domestically abused. Kasi abuse comes in a lot of forms. Just because hindi ka, just because wala kang pasa, just because you're not black and blue, doesn't mean na hindi ka na inaabuso. And I love that response from you.
Yes, kasi may mga types of abuse din na pag yung planado, like, just to, like, walang magiging evidence against them. Kasi maging delicate yung abuser mo kung paano ka i-abuse physically. Yung tipong hindi makikita, hindi halata yung bruises, yung mga ganun. So, you don't really need to be black and blue para lang ma-call mong physical abuse. Eh, mali pa rin in all aspect kahit sa matignan. Mali pa rin yung ginawa
Mali
niya.
pa rin talaga.
So, with all of that, did you ever approach the authorities concerning this situation? Or did you handle it by yourself?
Ako, I handled it by myself. But my mother tried to. Pero yun nga, kasi you really need to have money to fight a case.
That's been a concern din na parang, of course, it's nice that you can always approach the authorities, but what if you don't have the money for it, di ba?
Yeah. Kaya, yun nga, ang ano lang sa akin, naging problem ko was late impact yung realization nung nangyari. Like, months before nag-sink in sa akin. Like, right after what happened, I was like, parang, ang tigas-tigas ko to. Like, hindi, kaya ko yan. Like, ganun pa yung nangyayari. Like, ayoko sa kanya, galit ako sa kanya, kaya ko to, I don't need him, parang ganun ako. And then, yun na, after ilang months, dun na ako, nag-downhill na ako. Yun na yun. Like, oh, okay. Hindi ko in-expect. And then, I felt alone in a way kasi no one really explained to me what to do. Kasi, syempre, new experience siya sa akin eh. So, nag-cope alone on how to, survive.
You said you handled it by yourself, diba? So, I'd like to ask you, what did you do to cope up with all of this? Parang what was your go-to coping mechanism para lang to get your mind off of this or to help you manage all of this?
Well, nauna yun nga, like, hindi ko pinapansin. Like, there's a built-up wall in front of me. Like, kunyari, wala akong pake, ganyan. Parang I was repressing my emotions. Kasi, ayokong, ayokong bumalik sa, like, ayokong mag-downhill ulit. Ganun. And then, nung time nga na nag-sink in na lahat sa akin, doon ko, parang, syempre, ilang months kong nilabas siya. Iyak-iyak ako, ganyan. And then, nagkaroon ako ng distraction. Which, nilunod ko yung sarili ko with academics or sayaw. Like, I train.
So talagang dire-diretsong ano, did you have like an organization na sinalihan mo?
It's dance organization na lagi kami nagko-compete. So, ayun, lagi akong busy from like morning estudyante ako, gabi training ako. And then there was a time na like nag-barista pa ako, nag-work ako. So student, part-time worker, and then dancer ako sa gabi. Like,
Wow, that's a lot to balance.
yeah. And then, may isang sem pa ako naging scholar. Talagang inano ko yung sarili ko, nilunod ko yung sarili ko to be busy. Ayun, kasi one of the reasons din kung ba't ko nilunod kasi ayoko umuwi, gano'n. So, parang I need to work on myself, parang gano'n. Like I always tell myself na I need to do something para sa sarili ko. Gano'n lang yung mindset ko nun. So, yeah, yun yung ginawa ko. And then for like I don't know if it's a term, pero like parang silent coping mechanism ko is pag pagod ako, like what I do is like I just really listen to music. Off yung surroundings ko. Like ayoko makarinig when it's getting toxic na yung surroundings ko. Kaya may times talaga na like, madalas kasi pag dancer ka, nasisira ang talaga ng earphones kasi nahihila.
Yeah, so that's why sinasabi nga nila parang if you're a dancer, you should get like wireless earphones, di ba? Especially yung mga nakasalaksak na lang sa tenga, yung wala talagang kable-kable.
Tapos, yun nga, totoo yun. Kasi, iniiyakan ko yung earphones ko pag nasisira. Kasi, yun talaga yung nagpapasave sa akin. Like, sobrang simple lang, di ba? Sobrang simple lang nung yun na nagpapasave ng life mo. Like, earphones lang. Okay ka na. Ganun. Tsaka simple. But, it's complicated. It's simple at the same time.
And of course, it's your ano eh, it's what you so call your temporary escape from everything that's happening, from all of the things going on around you.
Yes.
So now that we're here, I would like to ask you, since you've already shared us your coping mechanisms, is it still happening until this day sa'yo or hindi na?
Physical abuse? No.
Hindi na.
Hindi na.
So would you say na somewhat, kahit paano, you were victorious? Or maybe you could have done better?
Siguro what I want to say na lang about that is, I'm still trying to survive. Still trying to cope. I'm still trying to heal. Hindi talaga siya like, in a snap, you'd be better. Like, it's 2018 yun, and it's 2022. Dami na nangyayari.
And also, as far as I believe na you have a psychiatrist?
Yeah. now lang ako nagpa-check because off topic, it's not physical abuse. But like last year kasi I was sexually harassed by my half uncle.
Oh
So
my. Sexual
like
abuse.
yeah, di ba? Dahil nangyari.
Daming forms ng abuse. Oh my God. Are you okay? Are you still surviving?
Ayun. So, I mean, well, I'm still alive. So yeah, I'm surviving.
And I hope you are doing well naman.
Ayun. Ayun, nung like June siya nangyari. And then, nanahimik ako for months. And then I finally told my mom nung November. And then, yung tita ko, sinabi ko sa isang kapatid nila. So, from November to February, di ako natutulog. Like, literally, I don't sleep. Kasi nananaginip ako, ganun. Kaya nagka-PTSD ako. That's the reason why. Pero yun, I'm trying to heal that. Pero grabe, sobrang nakakayat yung antidepressant pill. Like, di pinexpect yun.
It really
Sobrang
helped
iba yung,
you.
sobrang iba yung lift. Yeah, sobrang iba yung lift.
And I'm glad naman that you're progressing steadily. You're progressing at a nice pace, diba? Parang, of course, like you said, diba? Like, healing from it isn't really linear. It's not fast. It's not in the snap of a finger na parang, parang pagpasok mo. Or like, once you start doing the things you do for coping, parang bigla kang, oy, okay na ako. Parang,
You would really, like, dadalhin mo talaga siya with your own whole life para sa akin. Kasi, trauma siya na hindi mo makakalimutan na experience.
it's sadly, 'di ba? Parang sadly it's an unforgettable experience, pero hindi siya sana all ng unforgettable experiences magaganda, pero that's not the case with everybody eh.
If meron lang like feel to forget those memories, I would like really take it.
So I'd like to ask you one last question as we end this episode. What is your suggestion for people going through similar things such as you?
It is true na we have our self-built coping mechanism. Totoo yan. Like may ibang tao na hindi privileged enough to get those antidepressant pills then kasi they really have to work on themselves. That's what I did for years before this year, di ba? Para sa akin is what I really learned all these years is na don't repress your emotions. Labas mo. I mean, may hirap siya. Like, times na mahirap talaga maglabas ng nararamdaman. But, it really helps to admit what you really feel. Kahit sa kaibigan mo lang, sabihin mo lang sa kanila. It will really help them. It will really help yung mga victims. Parang gumaan yung loob nila. Because, for me, I'm still surviving because of my friends. Sobrang laking help with them being here for me. Yun. So, yun yung biggest advice ko. And then, find a way to do something na mahal mo din gawin. It will really help them a lot. So, yun.
Coping mechanisms. Kasi when you love doing something, talagang ibubuhos mo yung buong pagkatao mo dun eh.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for joining us today, for sharing us your story. I did not expect that super heavy pala ng pinagdadaanan. Because of course, I only know the surface level eh. I didn't push you concerning this. But thank you very much for sharing your story with us. Don't worry, everything will be kept completely confidential. We will not mention your name. They won't even know that it was you.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe the people that did it to you, maybe they might, hey, that's me, but we'll keep everything confidential. We won't release any sort of information concerning it. So thank you very much for joining us here at the Wheel Podcast. For everybody else experiencing, you've heard it from our guest for today. Uh, if if you guys are going through the same thing and you can't really do much about it because of course finances and all that, you need money, Not everybody has the privilege to actually file a case. So have someone that you can tell what's going on. It doesn't have to be a lot of people. It can just be one person that you can tell everything. Let all of your emotions out and find something that you love to do so that you can cope from all of this, from all of the experiences or your experiences, from all of the abuse that's happened. That was a wonderful episode and a wonderful story shared to us by our guest, Sugarplum Fairy. Thank you for tuning in to the Trinidad podcast. For more episodes like this, follow us on SoundCloud and on YouTube. This is your host, DJ Crazy, signing off.